Never let somebody's failure to appreciate you make you question or doubt your own self-worth. See, we as people, especially when you're a giving person and you've stretched yourself for the ungrateful and you feel like you keep doing all the right things for all the wrong people, it knocks us back, it knocks our confidence, and sometimes it can do it so much so that we end up questioning our own worth. We end up looking in the mirror at the person looking back at us and thinking, are we even meant to be happy? Are we even meant to be appreciated? Because all we know is failure to do so. But just because somebody doesn't see the potential in you, just because somebody doesn't appreciate your giving side or value your generosity or see the things you bring to the table, does not mean you don't bring anything. Just because they didn't see it in you does not mean that it's not there. So never measure or gauge where you're at in your life, or gauge your possibility of being happy, or gauge anything in your life based on the opinions and the failure of other people's characteristics, because you are worth so much more than the people who have knocked you back, worth so much more than the people who have failed to appreciate the lengths you're willing to go through for them. There's more ungrateful people out there than we would like to even fucking fathom. But that's just life. Not everybody's going to have your heart. Not everybody's going to have your generosity. Not everybody's going to have your due care and the attention and the time you're willing to put in. Some people just don't give a fuck about themselves enough, so how can we expect them to care about us? But just because they don't care, just because they don't appreciate, doesn't mean that that is a reflection on us. That is a reflection of their negative internal state, what they've got going on. It's absolutely nothing to do with you. So if you're watching this video and you are feeling like you are at a crossroads with self-doubt, like you are at a crossroads with ungrateful people, and you just feel like every single person you meet is an unappreciated piece of shit, and you feel like that's all you're destined to receive is ungratefulness, then understand this message. If you're ever going to take anything away from this video, take away the fact that just because somebody else did not see it, just because they couldn't acknowledge it, just because they couldn't get out of their own way enough to see the value in you, does not mean that you do not possess the value. You are worth so much more than everybody who's met you and who has failed to appreciate what it is you bring to the table. Nobody does things the way you do. Nobody loves the way you love. Nobody cares the way you care. Nobody speaks how you speak. Nobody's got your banter. Nobody brings the characteristics and the charisma and the specialities that have been given to you by God, by design. Nobody else brings that to the table. You are one of one. You are special. And just because somebody else failed to see that does not make it false, does not mean that that is not the case. So never ever let somebody's negativity, never let somebody's disrespect or disregard for your efforts make you question your own self-worth. You are worth so much more than the last person who failed to appreciate you. And I want you to understand that you should validate yourself before seeking it from other people. The only way to instill real self-worth, real self-love, and understand that we are worth so much more than the people who have disrespected us is to validate ourselves, is to stop looking outwardly for validation from other people. Forget the negativity, forget the disrespect and the disregard and the unappreciative and the ungrateful, and understand this: you are worth so much more. Never lose sight of that, and always remember that just because they didn't see it in you does not mean that it's not there.